This is one of those videos where it's kind of fun because you get to stick it to somebody. And what I mean by that is, so long, so often, I was told that the PlayStation 5 wasn't this, the PlayStation 5's not that, basically calling AMD liars and things like that, believe in GitHub leaks and whatnot. Just a whole bunch of nonsense. And, at the end of the day, there's this thing called, which basically Fidelity FX, which is super resolution. I know this is good. Like, listen, I'm not a super tech person, but this is super easy to understand. But it's AMD's equivalent to DLSS. Now, I've explained DLSS plenty of times to a lot of you guys, and I'm sure most of you probably know. Well, DLSS is basically using like a machine learning to upsample a image, right? So let's say a 1440p image and make it look just as good and sometimes better than a native 4K image. And what this allows you to do is get better performance out of your console, because a lot of times these developers and things like that will go for like the native 4K, and we've seen it a lot so far, even with the Xbox Series X, at the loss of frame rate and performance. So this will allow, say, a 1440p game to take less strain off of the actual hardware, and you'll get better performance with like the frame rate, and you'll also be able to get better added things like ray tracing and other things like that. So it's definitely something that helps. I mean, this is something that's on PC. It's like all the rage. It's just one of those things that obviously a lot of people are kind of looking forward to. And Lisa Su, the head of AMD, did this big presentation yesterday where she announced, basically the same thing. Now, the Fidelity FX Super Resolution is coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and obviously GPUs. Every GPU that they make, they wanted to. It's going to be on there. So there was a lot of people and a lot of discussion about would it be on the PlayStation 5, and of course this was announced months ago that it was going to be on PlayStation 5. So, and I can even go over this a little bit to kind of talk to you about what this article from months ago, even the updated one from yesterday. Okay, so NVIDIA may have a clear advantages over AMD thanks to its DLSS, but it seems that the company is holding back, as it's been stated that they are launching their Fidelity FX Super Resolution feature when it's ready. This includes cross-support for the latest next-gen consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, as well as the S. Speaking to this, it was actually confirmed as to why AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution has yet to release. Apparently, rather than rushing it, Super Fidelity FX Super Resolution out the door on only one new top-end card, they want it to be cross-platform in every sense of the word. So they actually want it running on all of their GPUs, including the ones inside consoles, before they pull the trigger. It would have been nice to have it ready by the time the card's launched, but as we saw with NVIDIA's DLSS 1.0 versions, it could be for the best. Now, for all the console players out there, they do a really good job of explaining what this is exactly, who don't know what DLSS is and Fidelity FX, they're essentially a type of AI upscaling technique that uses machine learning to upscale lower resolution to higher resolution, all while maintaining the original performance. This means that picture quality can look a whole lot better without the need to sacrifice frame rate. There's tons of other benefits that they detailed on the website about it. Each game has different characteristics based on the game engine, complexity of content, and the time spent on training. Our supercomputer never sleeps, and we continue to train and improve our deep learning neural network even after a game's launch. When we have improvements to performance or quality ready, we provide them to you via updates. It's designed to boost frame rates at high GPU workloads, i.e. when your frame rate is low and your GPU is working to its full capacity, without bottlenecks or other limitations. If your game is already running at high frame rates, your GPU's frame rendering time may be shorter than the execution time. In this case, it's not available because it would not improve your frame rate. However, if your game is heavily utilizing the GPU, like the FPS is below 60, it provides an optimal performance boost. You can crank up your settings to maximize your gains. To put it more bluntly, it requires a fixed amount of GPU time per frame to run the deep neural network. Thus, games that run at lower frame rates or higher resolutions benefit more from DLSS. So this is really going to be something it's going to be fantastic to see going forward, and seeing people kind of get the whole reiterated opportunity here that the PlayStation 5 is running, a very good version of RDNA 2 as well. Like, I think that that's something that a lot of people, didn't give them a lot of credit for, to be honest with you. And it's kind of unfortunate because they really are, it's really such a good console, and I hope that they continue to, take advantage of the platform and the hardware and things like that, because I feel like that's really what it all comes down to, is just giving your players the best of everything. And it looks like this is going to be one of those things. So it's very exciting because, again, this is something that we're going to be able to take advantage of as fans and get best possible performance out of that too as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be what a lot of people are going to be talking about. One of the things, like I said, kind of sticking to people, because people were actually arguing with me even late last night on Twitter that Fidelity FX Super Resolution isn't going to be available on the PlayStation 5, which is a head scratcher since it's an AMD thing and they obviously want it everywhere. Can you imagine a developer trying to implement this and then only one doesn't have it? I mean, it doesn't make sense. This really bodes well for all the consoles, especially for the multi-platform titles, where developers can just go ahead and develop for like one set or whatever if they're using. If this is something that's in there, hey, okay, we're going to take advantage of this. And I like that aspect of it, because I've been saying since the start, even before this generation started, for the last year and a half leading up to the launch, that if this is the case, which was heavily rumored at the time, the resolution is outdated way of arguing these things, right? Like, so many fanboys, Xbox fanboys, were salty, and I understand that. We're salty because, we had the resolution situation last gen with the Xbox One. They got, kind of the whole 720p versus 1080p thing, and I get it. And you want things to kind of be, you want things to kind of even out. You want to make fun of the PlayStation guys for having less resolution as well. Well, you know what? It doesn't always work that way, because it's an entirely different situation. Like the pictures, the quality, that stuff is just, it's just a completely different situation going forward with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. It's not the same thing. It's not the same, like, you're fighting yesterday's war is basically the way that I would put it. For me personally, I understand why people want to bring it up and why people feel the need to kind of talk about it still, but it's a completely different situation. And I think that it really just makes people look kind of bad when they continually bring it up, when it's completely like a difference of nothing really, like, because the picture quality and things like that is so high nowadays. So yeah, that's to all the ones that really went out there and thought that the PlayStation 5 wasn't going to have this. It is now 100% confirmed. They've actually provided a release date of June 22nd for Fidelity FX Super Resolution, with the solution also coming to Xbox Series X and S and the PS5, and how it will become a benefit for those consoles. So yeah, this is now 100% confirmed. And it's really cool to see that they're out there, and the consoles are like, in this aspect, more like PC is better, because we're going to be getting the best performances possible. And I love that. I just absolutely think that's fantastic. And hopefully I did a good job of explaining to you exactly what it is and how it's going to benefit us as fans. So probably by next year sometime, we're going to be seeing games that fully utilize this, and we're going to be seeing, like, the whole resolution thing is going to be nonsensical. Like, all these developers are all going to be going for 1440p and stuff to get that Fidelity FX Super Resolution upscale, so it doesn't impact performance. And that's going to be better for all of us, because I've not seen a developer yet say, hey, go for native 4K because it's blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Most people are saying, hey, let's try and save on some of the workload, and I think that's what benefits us mostly as gamers. I'm going to link all of this in the description. You guys can check it out. Fascinating stuff. It's not really hard to pick up on. This is pretty simple stuff here. Let me know what you think. Sound off rate, comment, subscribe. As always, I'm Crapgamer. This has been another edition of Crapgamer Reviews. Thank you so much for rocking out with me. Please take the time out to like, share, subscribe. Crapgamer out.